Hey guys, welcome to the live. Glad to see you. Hope you're logging in here. Um, let's get started. So we're here to buy a Cybertruck back in Florida.
I flew in. Buying the Cybertruck. I sold the Bitcoin, like I said in the little video that I put out yesterday. So you guys watch it soar. Here it goes.
Yeah,
This is what they call max pain. And my 30 grand that I'm going to put down on the Tesla is probably going to cost me $50,000 because I shouldn't have sold
Yeah,
the damn stuff. But
I wouldn't have sold. I wouldn't have gotten the Tesla, to be honest.
oh well,
It's a cool truck.
You didn't sit in it.
I didn't. Where did you get to go sit in it?
I got it. It's got my name on it. It says,
"Oh,
welcome, Robert Krager. Here's your truck."
It was pretty badass.
It's kind of a little bit of a tease because I didn't get to drive away with it, but that was my fault.
Oh well.
I'm gonna get it tomorrow though.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, guys, send your questions in, and we'd love to get started. I know some of you guys are here from the school, and hopefully you have some questions prepared, and um, we can start talking about real estate. We can talk about our deal on Juniper. It's getting pushed back another 30 days.
Another 30?
Yep. So we've got a probate house that we've been talking about where we're going to split the lot and, really do some additions to the house. And they just keep pushing it and pushing it. This is our second 30-day extension for probate.
Are they paying us another $1,000?
Yeah, we're trying to get 2,000 this time.
Nice.
We're trying to get $2,000, and we're asking for a pre-negotiated $5,000 for a third extension. I find it's much easier if people are glad to, or if people are willing to. What am I looking here? They're willing to negotiate 30 days out because it's not as pressing. They think they won't need it, but if they do need it, you've already signed the papers.
I like that. That's a good tactic. So
Yeah,
we know that probate can take longer than anybody realizes. And
Yep.
So
their lawyers are telling them, "Oh, we're about to be done. We're about to be done," and then it's 60 days later.
Yeah. And guys, this is in Florida. So if you were doing this in Puerto Rico, definitely use this tactic. Like this would work really well in your favor in Puerto Rico because nothing happens in 30 days there.
Not at all. So that's something worth thinking about.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's for sure something we're thinking about.
Pineapple, thanks for joining from school. Glad to have you
I was looking at that thinking, am I reading that right? Does it say pineapple? I mean, I can barely see it, so I didn't want to say pineapple, and it'd be Penelope.
Nope. Penelope Pineapple, thanks for being here. Let us know if you've got any real estate questions that we can help you out with. You're featured on the show, so what are you working on? And we'd love to talk to you about it.
Yeah, the way that the Monday Night Live really goes well is when we have a lively group with questions and we just dive into the different things. We're always doing different real estate deals or flying from Puerto Rico to Orlando to buy a Tesla Cybertruck. So we can talk about stuff like that. But when you guys have questions that you need answered, that's when this will go the best. So put your questions in the chat and go ahead and hit that little thumbs up button. That helps us out a lot. And this is sort of a preview, guys. So we're going to be able to perfect what we're doing here on Monday Night Live over on the school platform. So that we're really excited about. Glad to see some people that are in the school platform coming to check us out here on YouTube on the Monday Night Live. But we're going to be able to do some stuff that's even more interactive and bring more value over on that platform. So
yeah, we're planning Zoom calls. We're planning. It'll be a lot more personalized. We'll really be able to dig into the weeds over on school. So
I'm already in there answering texts and stuff, and I try to stay engaged, guys. So forgive me if you send me a message or if you just put a message out there and I don't reply right away. Yeah. I will definitely be in there trying to answer questions and respond to people.
Yeah.
So will McKenna. So will Adon.
Speaking of questions, hey Mark, he says, "Hey guys, curious how you would deal with a property we're under contract on, where the owner is stealing electricity from the building for his shop across the street. Very interesting to say the least. Pretty common in Puerto Rico, I think, with the electricity theft.
Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
I'm assuming you're in Puerto Rico, Mark. I'm pretty sure you are, but
you're assuming that because that doesn't generally happen in
I've had
it. It's pretty common on the island. It's less common in the States.
Here in Florida, I did have a neighbor who was stealing my electricity. He ran an extension cord over, was powering his whole house on it. I called the police and they showed right up, knocked on his door, and Strangely, the owner wasn't there.
So
But
I want to answer this question though,
yeah,
because I would say that if I'm thinking I'm getting a really good deal on the building, I'm not probably going to pick a fight with the seller. I would just go ahead and close on the property. And then once I've closed on the property, I would stop that shit. But leading into it, there's no reason to go and upset the seller and cause yourself any headaches. He's not stealing from you, and then once you own it, you can stop it.
yes.
Unless I'm misunderstanding the question, that's how I would go with that. Right?
And to be honest, I'd close on it. I wouldn't talk to him about it. I would just shut off the
Yeah,
line
just
he's got.
turn off that line, or you could tell him, or don't tell him. It doesn't matter. You could definitely shut off the line though.
Yeah, it's just I'm sure he's just running an extension cord from the box over to his shop. So it's really nothing too crazy. Um anyways, going on to
Mark, tell us about your building. I know you've said in the chat a couple times that you're buying, I think, a 15 unit building there. Maybe it's Santurce or going into Miramar. I'd love to come see it. I'm actually going to be there. I'll be back tomorrow or the next day. So if you maybe if separately, if you sent me a pen or something, I could go check it out. And I just like seeing deals, guys. I'm a deal junkie, so Mark's got a deal in an area that I like to buy things in, and so I'm highly interested in going to check that out.
well, it's good to know what people are doing in your neighborhood because where people are doing developments where they're adding value, if you do it together, everyone makes even more money. If you know where someone's putting in $2 million and you get the building next door,
Yeah,
he is investing in your building just as much as he is yours. Mark said, yes, 16 unit mixed use. Would love to have you out.
yeah. Are you on
Awesome.
the island, Mark, or are you in the States right now? And can I go check it out if you're not there? Just tell me how to do it, and I'll go check it out this week. Don and I can take a road trip.
Yeah. You guys can DM in the school app too if you don't have his number. Make sure
I've
you
got Mark's
contact him.
number.
You got Mark's number.
Mark has my number.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So going back to Juniper, yeah, we've got that 30-day extension. We're asking for money back. And
Okay.
what do you think we should do with Garrett? So we've got a lender who has promised us the money, and we are delaying, and he's very gracious. He's not charging us yet, but I do
We've asked him for the money at least
three times.
I started to ask him for the third time, but I said, well, wait a second, let me make sure. And then
Yep.
that's when we found out about this extension. So one time he sent us the money
Yep.
and then we gave it back to him. And then the next time I asked him and he was ready to send it. And then this time we were delayed on that. And then this time I was about to ask him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're fine. I'll talk with him tomorrow and see.
Yeah, and in this case, guys, if he isn't fine with it, Garrett's very gracious. He's usually pretty accommodating and uh, lets us do these extensions. But if you have a lender that's not gonna let you do an extension, we are getting money from the seller for these extensions, and we would use that to pay for debt service.
Yeah.
So if Garrett really wanted us to start making payments so that he's earning interest on his money, we would just start paying him even though we don't have the money because he does have it set aside and there is a cost to that.
Yeah, he's got a cost to that. It's a tricky thing though. If you guys start making payments on money you're not using yet,
Yep.
it's not a good habit to be in.
Ideally,
while we think we're going to get this property,
yeah,
what if we don't and we start making payments? I mean, we could just be out some interest, I guess. But
yeah, and it does get tricky.
yeah.
So
maybe I can get Garrett to give me the money and I'll pay for the Hummer with it, and then
pay for your Cybertruck with it and go get other money. I think that's a bad idea, guys.
What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Should I do that? Should I hard money the Cybertruck?
Yeah, what would you guys get a car loan at? Would you do 16% in 4 points?
No, don't. Let's not do that. Although, damn, it is expensive. These car loans, we were getting them for 0 interest just a couple of years ago, and now
Yeah,
this one's going to be like 8.5% or something like that, or 9%. It's expensive. And tomorrow I'm gonna change it so that I'm gonna put it in a business. I hope that doesn't mess with it again and make it more expensive. But
we'll see. Chicago says how you like buying foreclosures. We buy a lot of foreclosures, Chicago. I mean, are you looking in Puerto Rico or are you looking in, I'm assuming you're in Chicago. I think, is that her name, Chicago? I can't see it. It's a little bit zoomed out there.
Yeah.
But how do you like buying foreclosures?
I that's my preferred way to buy. So thanks for the question. Buying foreclosures for me is my very favorite place to go and buy something. If I if I could only do one thing and you took all of the other avenues away from me, that's the one that I would choose because I know that if I'm willing to put the work in, that I'm going to get a good deal. So it is sometimes burdensome, and there's a lot of due diligence that goes into being able to safely bid. It's a very dangerous place to bid, but because of that, when you find something that you buy, you generally are getting a good deal. And so for 20 years at least, that's been my preferred way to buy. I was buying two a week at the foreclosure sale in Florida from like 2000 to 2017 on average. And then we went to Puerto Rico. We haven't bought at the foreclosure sale very often, but we are doing some things at the foreclosure sale now. We have bought one or two. We've done some other things where we've bought some debt that we've taken through the foreclosure sale. So we love the auctions. That's my element. That's where I thrive. So when I first showed up to the island of Puerto Rico, there were live auctions, and I walked into the room and didn't know really what was going on. You're reading a pamphlet, looking at properties, and guys, I bid on every damn one of them. Like people were looking at me like, "How can you possibly know what you're doing?" And I was like, "They're so cheap. I'm just going to take a chance." And I actually bought one of the first things I bought was the triplex in Fajardo at an auction for $11,000, and
Jeez.
it was a horse stable, had no power or water. Actually, that's not true. It had water, but the neighbor was stealing the water. So, Mark, back to your thought, the neighbor was stealing the water from this house, and in the house it was every room had a horse in it.
Yeah, I
It
remember.
was pretty fun.
I was up in school and I remember him. He sent me a video. Opens the door and there's just a horse in the house.
Yeah.
Looked like a stable. It was pretty surprising to say the least. I think that with the foreclosures in Puerto Rico too, it's tougher to get the information. So if you do put in the work to go and get it, you're gonna get a deal. Angel says, have you heard of land banking or purchasing from land banks? Not sure if it's another term for tax/foreclosure sales. I have not heard of
So land banking is not another term for foreclosure sales. So there are different meanings to land banking, and land banking could be buying a piece of land and banking it while you do other projects until it becomes the priority. So a good, for instance, there is that we bought a beautiful 5-acre piece of land in Culebra, and it was a foreclosure. We got a great deal on it, and we've just been sitting and waiting until somebody wanted it more than us. So um, I think there's another way that people call it land banking, where you do something for taxes, where you buy pieces of land that uh, then people are using as green space or something. But I'm really not very familiar with that. So
Yeah.
if you'll clarify your question and what you're asking, I can talk a little bit more about it. But for us, land banking is we have 45 acres in Lares. We bought a couple of years ago, and we're waiting for a developer to come who wants us or a partner to come to do something with it while we've got all of these other projects going on. We just saw it as such a good deal.
What'd you buy it for?
We bought it for less than $1 million for 45 acres. It was
Wow.
and it had entitlements
Massive.
at one time to build 200 houses. So pretty good deal. So we just bought it to kind of hold on to it. You and I are talking about buying a lot in Tennessee.
Yeah, for
For
$1,000.
$1,000. We have no idea what to do with it. There's no reason for us to buy it other than
It's $1,000.
it's $1,000, and it's the guy who's selling you some other great real estate, and
Yep. I want to keep him happy.
you want to keep him happy.
And it's in a neighborhood that's being built. There's houses there, so I don't need to go and develop a road and electricity and what it has everything there. So at $1,000,
You buy it for $1,000, and for $250 a year, you
keep
can
it.
keep it, right?
Yep.
It doesn't cost you anything, and hopefully one day it's worth a lot more. And there are indications that even that little lot could be sold for $25,000 or $30,000 in the not too distant future.
So Angel says, so parking money, pretty much. So
yeah, I think that's right. I think that's what land banking is
you get a capital gain payout and you go.
you stick your money in the land and you just kind of wait for someone to come around who wants the land more than you. In Orlando, Florida, right now, the Universal Studios is doing a massive build of a new park.
Yeah.
And
As big as the two they already have.
yeah, and
It's
so
huge.
back in the day, there were these tiny little lots all around iDrive that you could buy for $100, a few $100s. You could get yourself a quarter-acre piece of land off of iDrive, and it was kind of had no roads to it, had no value to it. And what I've heard is that all of those smart people who did that, who bought those things up, and that was all of my friends except for me, Robbie Krager. I was the only
really?
fool. Yeah, they bought all these things. They would buy up 20 or 30 of them, you know, for a few $100s a piece,
Wow.
and they got paid out now millions of dollars. Elaine and Ed Terry and those guys
Really
made some the land bank paid off.
Jeez. Good for them. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess
But it was probably
it is a
20-year
risk because if you're
investment.
buying a house or a lot with no road, no electricity, no plumbing, there's a chance that nobody ever wants it while you're alive. Like you don't know that Universal's coming.
You don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good. I mean, it was in a really good area, but it was not valuable property, that's for sure.
So Chicago says, "What is?" Oh, I had a little notification pop up. What is the best way to finagle in a remodel loan? Finagle? I don't know if that's a word.
What's the question? Let me see if I can find it on the phone.
What's the best way to finagle in a remodel loan? Chicago, I'm not sure on the question. Could you clarify that? Maybe I'm just unable to read. Um, Angel says, "Thank you for sharing. I'll do a little more research and share with the school community." That would be great. We love when people are posting in there. We're trying to build the biggest school on the real estate school or the biggest school. I don't know, either one on the platform, and we are trying to have people in there posting information like this. We want people to educate each other. We want people to make connections in there. We don't need to be in every deal that happens on there. We want people that are making deals to meet each other on that community and get in business together, buy some real estate, do some deals together. And we love to be resources for that and give out education. You know, something I've been saying is we have all this knowledge in real estate, and if we died tomorrow, it's a waste. We need to share it with everybody. There's no reason to keep it hidden and secret when, you know, there's not a shortage of deals. There's not a shortage of anything other than knowledge.
Yep.
Angel says a 203B rehab loan.
203K rehab loan. A 203K rehab loan is basically an FHA loan for a property that needs work. So you can use the money to buy the property and you get the money to fix it up. And it's a really great way to buy a house and get an excellent deal. We've got a short video out, and I don't know if it would qualify for a 203K, but our friend Juan Perlam, who's now joined or has either joined or is joining the school community, he's buying it. I'm partnering with him where I'm putting up the money, and he wants to sell it on to an FHA buyer. He could find someone who could do a 203K loan, and maybe if he fixed it up, he would sell it at 350. But if he finds someone who qualifies for the 203K loan, they could buy it from him for say 275, and then they'd borrow the money to fix it up to get it up.
And would he do the work, or they just
no,
hire
they'd
someone?
do it.
They'd do
They
it.
would take over. They'd get a better deal for buying it in worse condition.
What do you need to qualify for that?
You need to qualify for it just like you would an FHA loan.
And that's all you need,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
So you can go and find a house that doesn't qualify for FHA, get an FHA loan, get it up to standard.
That's
and
the
then,
way I understand it.
and they'll
I'm not a
refinance
loan
you.
expert. So
Yeah.
any of you guys who are selling loans, if we're not saying something correctly, you feel free to put it in the comments there. But
I will say we're real estate experts. We are not banking experts. And in fact, most of our money comes from equity partners, hard money lenders. We're not doing a ton of, you know, traditional banking loans. It's a new question here. Chicago, can I have my contractor of charge the bank for what it takes to build, so as if the value of the remodel costs more than it really does? I don't know that we can comment on that on the live.
We're not going to recommend that you do that.
Yep.
That's
I have heard of people doing that before. especially if you have a good relationship with your contractor. I don't know. I definitely won't say I don't think that's allowed.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's not allowed, but here's how it might work is that if you get a bid for the job
Yeah.
from 3 different contractors, and so the bank now sees what the job is going to cost, and you come alongside your contractor maybe, and you're throwing in some sweat equity and doing some of the work, you may still be able to pull out the money that way.
Yep.
But guys, I wouldn't suggest that you do anything underhanded with the bank. So
Yeah.
don't play with those guys because that's one way you could get burned. And it's too easy to make money without doing bad things. And I'm not saying that that's what you're
Yeah.
suggesting, but just be careful and do things in the way that you're allowed to do it. So the bank will tell you what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah, and if you need to do that in order to close on the deal, it might not be a good deal. If you have to kind of finagle it, maybe that was the question earlier. If you need to finagle it that way, it might not be the best deal. If the numbers aren't good enough on their own, they should just stand out and
I see that. I mean, I
like
don't
bring in
disagree
cash.
with you. I don't disagree with that. But one thing I will say about dealing with banks, as real estate investors, banks don't see things the same way we see things. I think bankers are incredibly bad business people. I
Well, they're employees.
I believe that the bank lends the money when the market is super high.
Yeah.
They lend too much money to the really expensive real estate, and then when the market crashes and the real estate's way down here,
They won't
they
lend at
don't
all.
lend any money at all. So they just do things exactly backwards from the way that I think that they should be doing.
Yeah.
They should be lending less money when it's real expensive and all of the money when it's really cheap.
Yep.
But
Yeah, and I would say too with the banks, it's difficult to get these renovation loans unless you show a lot of W-2 income. You can do 1099 income, but um, we don't use banks. We typically use hard money lenders. So Alan says, what bank would you recommend using for transactions on the island and getting loans on investment properties? That is a tough question.
no bank to get loan on investment properties. At least the investment properties that we buy. So we're value add real estate investors. We buy stuff that's very distressed. There's no bank on the island that will lend us the money on that kind of stuff. There is an institution called Acrescent. They're a hard money lender.
Yep.
They're bank adjacent. Maybe they even have a banking license, but they're not Banco Popular or any of the other.
Now they
known
have a
banks.
minimum, don't they?
Yeah, and they're big deals, and
Yeah.
they lend on construction perm or construction loans, not construction perm, but they lend on construction loans at high interest rates on really expensive stuff.
Yeah. I would suggest Alan. I think it's Alan. I really can't see. I'm sorry, guys, but I would suggest you're finding an equity partner or a hard money lender. And there are smaller lenders on the island that are doing these deals, and it's you'll find them. So I would look that way. I would talk to your network. Mark says Banco Popular was pretty easy to work with for an investment property. Mark, what was your experience doing that, and what was the property? Was it?
Yeah, what kind of investment property?
Yeah, was it something that was move-in ready and you were able to Airbnb, or was it something that needed a lot of work and they gave you a loan on the construction as well? Chicago says amen to that. Thanks, Chicago. And Angel, doing a buy and hold, how strict are you with staying within the 70% of ARV?
Less.
Yes.
Yeah, so way less strict on. I like the area.
Yep.
And for instance, that McKenna and I just bought. We bought a house with an additional unit over in Conway, which is a suburb of Orlando, Florida. And we bought it for $220,000.
Yep.
210, 230, I don't know, somewhere in there. And we think it's worth, now we think it's worth 350. At the time, we might have thought it was worth 280 or maybe 300 in its best day. So we're definitely in an area we really, really like. It was in a neighborhood that I already have other rental properties, and we were able to get kind of a sweetheart loan through your banking relationship.
We got a good loan. Rents were high.
Yeah.
And rents still are high there. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and the way that's split up, it's a 2-1 and a studio with a bathroom. and we're getting 2,400 a month total on a pretty normal house.
Yeah.
Mark came back, definitely not a distressed property. My situation was for an empty shell of a condo, an empty shell as in it didn't have electricity and stuff, or it just you needed to put furniture in. Um,
But anyway,
that makes sense. If you're able to go buy a condo and you can tell Banco Popular that it's move-in ready, that does make sense that you'd be able to go get a loan, especially like we were saying earlier, if you're showing good W-2 income. If you're in Puerto Rico on one of the Act 60, what is it, foreign services? Export services.
export services.
And you're bringing in a great income, I bet Banco Popular can help you with that.
Yeah.
If you're like us and we're full-time real estate investors and we don't show W-2 income. Banks don't like us very much. So it's
Yeah, and here's the thing. I was making an offer on a house that I want to live in.
Yeah.
And after almost 2 years of looking, I found something that we really like. I made one offer that was basically their asking price that was subject to the bank. And kind of when I went to go pre-qualify, because my income isn't really well sourced and
yeah.
we're very asset heavy. We don't take a lot of money out of the business. So the lender said we'd be better off borrowing money against some of your assets in Orlando than we would trying to go and fight to get a conventional loan on this house. So it's kind of a jumbo loan. So there's a lot of moving parts to it. But the point that I'm getting to is I went in and made a cash offer that was a little bit less. So I saved myself about $50,000. I got the cash offer accepted, and now I'm
Oh,
going.
they accepted.
Yeah, so I'm buying a house.
I didn't
finally.
hear. That's exciting.
Well, I hope we're buying it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do on this house. We're gonna do a HELOC, and we're gonna pull out most of the money, and then we've got another house that we'll borrow the rest of it, and we'll basically pay cash, but we'll borrow the money in Florida.
That's great. Yeah, and especially when you have a lot of rentals, that is when it does get pretty easy. You can do these loan packages there's companies all over the United States that'll do it. If you're in the upper 48 and you have 15 rental properties, it becomes very easy to get financing. Now, if you have debt on everything, it gets a little tricky. You've probably tapped out most of the equity you can receive.
Yeah.
But it is good. Hey guys, ask your questions. Let us know if there's anything else that you're working on and you want us to talk about it. We're having and see what you're working on and tell you what we would do and how we would do it and go from there.
How many people watching us now? And I'm going to look at my phone and I'm going to see how many people are watching us. Let's see.
We're at 17.
So 17 people are watching us right now. So here's a good time to ask the question. We have 8 likes, so we should have 17 likes. Go ahead and smash that
Please.
thumbs up button.
Like and
But
subscribe.
how many
please.
of you guys? How many of the 17 people who are watching right now have already joined our school community? So just in the comments, real quick, comment yes if you're already in the school community, and let us know. And then if you're not in the school community, let's get you in there. Jump in and sign up. It's a community where we can be more interactive, where we can do some more, be more engaging, and just give more value. So, and McKenna told you earlier, we're building the biggest real estate community on the platform. It's not that we are trying to do it; we are doing it.
Yep.
And that's the way I like to say that we're doing this.
Yes, we're creating an intro to real estate flipping course. So if you guys have never done a property at all and you want to learn about how we're doing this, we're creating a course. We'd love to talk to you about it. But the reason I bring that up, I forgot.
Well, so we're going to be selling that course inside of the free community if anybody wants to buy it, and there's another paid community if you want the course, it comes with it. But
yeah,
we've been filming the course. We'd love, and there are several of you that are in the one community. So
man, I see a ton of yeses for it.
Yeah, so people are joining us because of the school community. And now we have another question. What do we got?
Yes, aside of foreclosure sales being your go-to, which would you say is your next best way to find deals? Do you find deals on market?
All the time.
We find deals every single way.
Yeah.
My absolute best deal that I have is a rental property in DeLand, Florida that I got seller financing on. And I was on Zillow comping out a rental, a different property, and I was looking to see what was for rent. And in this rent listing, he said I could rent to own. And I'm like, oh man, this is going to be fantastic. So that wasn't on market, wasn't wholesale. He was just trying to rent his house, and that's how I found that, was through Zillow. I've bought a few through the MLS, which are okay. You just got to be quick on the good ones. And then wholesalers, we buy a lot of deals from wholesalers because the way they're getting their deals, they're bird dogging them. They're knocking on doors. They're calling a list of 10,000 people that are in foreclosure, and they are searching for deals. And so when they get one, they add their fee to it and sell it to you. So you're not getting the bottom price, but you're getting the second bottom price. And um, typically they're pretty good deals.
Yeah, so I like on market deals, and I've bought them forever. For 25 years, we've always gone on the MLS and looked to see what was for sale. And we've got relationships with realtors who will call us when they have something distressed.
Yep.
So an on-market deal for me doesn't matter as much. I'm trying to buy the stuff that needs a lot of work anyway. So if they've got it listed on the MLS, I don't mind buying it. If it's not listed on the MLS and they stick a little for sale sign in the yard, I don't mind buying it that way. And like you said, we buy from wholesalers. We buy from just about any way that you can think of. One way that I will answer Angel's question right now, that I think there is a way to buy properties that's different. And I think it started maybe about a year ago, where actually buying a property subject to somebody's loan, where they went out and they got a loan, bought a new house 3-4 years ago, got a really good interest rate, and now for whatever reason they need to sell it. Maybe they're not even distressed, maybe they just don't have much equity, but they have phenomenal financing. I'm i'm highly attracted to finding deals like that, and I just closed on one that I think is like a great deal here in Altamont, Florida, where they were in foreclosure because the guy died. And we brought it through probate. And then after we got it through probate, we reinstated the loan. So we spent some money to reinstate the loan.
Wow.
And spent the money to pay off the heirs. And we put the property in our name. And now we're paying the bank directly. And the first day that we bought the property, we rented it for $1,900 a month. And our payment is $900 a month. So I've got 50 grand in that deal.
I love it.
And I'm making $1,000 a month. That's pretty phenomenal for me. Someone else is paying off that mortgage. The mortgage rate is like under 4%. So it's just an amazingly good loan. So, most of the money that's in that deal, I think I've got like a total of $225,000 in the deal, 230, something like that.
Wow.
50,000 is my cash. The rest is a loan at under 4%. And the renter's going to pay it off, right?
That's pretty sweet.
And I'm in Altamont Springs, Florida, where the property has equity today. It's worth maybe 300, and 3-4 years from now, it'll be worth 400 or 450, and I won't owe as much, and I'll have a lot more equity.
Yeah, the houses go up. I mean, they might fluctuate up, down, just like the stocks, but they're always going to get more expensive.
So if you're looking for a great way to buy a house, I think the subject to stuff is phenomenal right now. This is like this, and I have done this going years back. I've bought things out of foreclosure, reinstated loans, but I've never seen it like this, where there's just a time where just a very short time ago, people were borrowing money at, basically now with inflation, it's almost free money. So anytime I can take over one of those loans, I want to do it.
Yeah. So next question, Andrea says, how much of your portfolio is in PR versus the States? I am 100% in Florida. I'm invested in a few of his projects, but not very much.
Yeah.
I've got 15 rentals here in Florida and 4 flips going on. It's a bit trickier for you. What do you think?
So when I moved to Puerto Rico, coming up on 7 years ago, almost 7 years now. Is that right? Man,
I think so.
Almost 7 or almost 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, 6 or 7 years ago, when I moved to Puerto Rico, 100% of my holdings were in Florida. 100% were in the States. Linda has some stuff in Georgia. So we have some property in Georgia. All of our property when we moved to Puerto Rico was in Florida. And we went all in Puerto Rico. So for the last 6 years, we've been buying Puerto Rico, and I think it's surpassed what we have in Florida by a good bit, by a good clip. So
dollar amount, It's probably way more Puerto Rico.
Dollar amount's way more Puerto Rico, but even
Actual
like
properties.
property amount, I think I have more properties in Puerto Rico than
Yeah.
my properties in Puerto Rico. To your point, McKenna, are bigger, many of them,
Yeah.
and I have big cash flow. I have invested many millions of dollars, so it's a
It's a large
been a
percent.
fun time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it probably looks something like 70% of our total portfolio is Puerto Rico and 30% is Florida.
Yeah.
And that's pretty phenomenal since we were doing Florida for 20 years before we went to Puerto Rico, and
That's great.
we've done Puerto Rico's just been amazing.
Yeah. Mark says, I'm putting together pro forma and trying to estimate electricity costs. How would you estimate those if the owner isn't operating this property seriously? 80% plus for one condo, and we have a few Airbnbs in Santurce. Do you know the electricity costs on one of those?
I don't, but I can find out. I have a great business partner who knows exactly what the power bills cost.
Yeah.
I'll text him and find out, Mark.
Mark, we'll connect with you after the show. Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's something that I'll get back to you. I'll come back to you on that, Mark.
Yep. Manso Riviera says, can we do subject to on the island or just in the States?
Absolutely. You can do subject to, I believe, anywhere. We've done it in Puerto Rico and we've done it in the States. And I know that there are other people who are doing subject to deals and seller finance deals on the island of Puerto Rico. I think it's actually even going to become easier and more prevalent on the island of Puerto Rico because lending is just not as easy. It's much easier to get a traditional loan outside of Puerto Rico. So because of that, you have a little bit of an advantage when you can show someone that you're capable of making a payment and you can give them closer to their asking price or their asking price and then let them be seller financing it or doing subject to. You're going to always have the same kind of you're going to always have the same objections. Like no matter where you are, you've got to educate people on why they should consider your offer. And you know there are some great people out there like Pace Morby on YouTube that teach you how to negotiate that stuff. And
Yeah, it's good content.
we will be talking a lot about it inside of the school platform, and we'll even shoot probably a class or a course on that in the future. And I want to tell you guys, I don't consider myself an expert on this stuff.
Yep.
But it's an area that I want to do more of it. So I want to learn it as well. So I'm going to try and bring in a heavy hitter and make a course with them.
I love it.
So I'm gonna grab someone from the sub two community. Maybe it's Irving or someone who's already in our community here, and we'll figure out how to teach a course.
Yeah.
We'll call up Pace and we'll get him to give us some pointers or something.
Oh, that would be a good video. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we have a ton of questions, and please keep them coming.
This is the most questions we've ever had, so this is phenomenal. I love it.
If we don't get to your question, put them in school. We're happy to answer there. We are doing a paid community, like we said. We're doing a founder special of $29 a month right now if you join before tomorrow. And we're doing weekly calls in there. They're going to be Zoom calls, and it's going to be more personalized. We'll pull you up to the front of the Zoom, and we're going to have you. We're going to really dig into.
We're going to go deal profiles where we'll deep dive into what someone's deal looks like, and we'll coach them through how to negotiate it. If we see any red flags or
absolutely
anything that we can do to kind of add value and bring an education to the rest of the group by using somebody's deal. So
if you have a question and we don't get to it today, please consider joining there, and we'll have a link in the comments here. Samuel says, do you mind sharing your bank lender name in Kentucky so I can cold call them? I want to scale from 3 houses to many more. So Samuel, I'll tell you the name and you can cold call them. Please don't mention me.
And don't tell them that we're talking about them on the YouTube Live.
Yeah, please don't. They're called American Bank and Trust in Kentucky. Now, you need to have $10 million with them in order to get these special loans.
The kind of relationship you have with them. You have a partner who's got a lot of money on deposit with them.
Yeah, so it's a lending relationship where if you have a lot of stocks and equity and you can put it all with them, they are willing to do special deals with you. I see you have 3 houses. If they're
Free and clear.
free and clear, it's definitely something where they can get you a good refinance loan and kind of more traditional mortgages. But to get to these really um, exciting loans, you do need a personal relationship with them. Um, but if you want to go to the Kentucky Derby with them and you've got a couple million and you want to go meet them, definitely do it.
And I would say, guys, that kind of relationship with your bank, if you can put $10 million on deposit with any bank,
Yeah,
you could probably get the same kind of relationship that your partners have.
I do think so. Yeah. Des says, how long do you keep on equity partners?
I keep them on for the duration of the deal, Des. And welcome, Des. Good to see you in here. And welcome back to the island too. When we structure a deal with an equity partner, let's say we're doing it on a flip and our equity partner is going to bring in the cash and we're going to go and fix it up and then we're going to sell it. They stay in for the duration of the deal. And the same thing if we're going to do an equity partner who's going to keep a rental with us, we keep them in the deal for the entirety of the deal. Now, in some occasions, the equity partner needs to get out, and I'll find a way to buy them out. Or if you're asking, can you negotiate that stuff with an equity partner where you would keep them in for a period of time and then buy them out? You can negotiate that up front. Like,
Yeah,
you can negotiate any of this stuff. That's what's so great about, like, there's nothing except your imagination holding you back from doing anything. Like, if you've got an idea on something and you can convince someone else to do it, you can form partnerships, and you can form. We should do like a one day where we just have some of the more experienced people come in and tell their wildest and craziest deals.
yeah.
I think that would be
There's some
pretty
good
fun.
structure. I would love that.
Yeah,
That'd be a good video.
We've done some crazy things.
Mark asks, with a 3.2 near full occupancy with AC, we have seen a $400 a month electricity bill. Oh, someone was saying that at Mark. Mark said that to Mark. So he said it cost him for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath condo near full occupancy on Airbnb. It was $400 a month. So Mark, if you multiply that by 15, and there's variance to that depending on your windows, insulation.
Mark's 15 units or 3-bedroom, 2-bath are probably they're probably smaller. Some of them.
Yep.
On our rental properties that are long term, like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath that don't have ACs, we factor like $100 a month for power.
Yeah. So next question here, Des, if buying out the equity partner versus selling the property to split profits, should the buyout price be agreed to before purchasing the property together? If it's a set timeline, then yes. But if it's a new thing that you're having a breakup, then you wouldn't set it beforehand.
Well, I can tell you something that we're doing. So inside of our mastermind, Apex Mastermind,
yeah,
one of our colleagues in there, Hector, and I don't think Hector will be mad at me for sharing this.
I think
he's going through this right now. So
and Hector's looking for a hard money lender if anybody knows one.
So Hector structured a deal with a partner. They had planned to buy it, fix it, and put it on Airbnb. And his partner's desires and needs have changed, and his partner now is looking to pull his money back out and needs to sell. And so it's not a negotiated ahead of time deal. It's that the deal has now changed. Hector would like to keep it potentially, and his partner would like to be bought out.
Yeah.
And so they've taken the property to market, and they're going to see what it would sell for. And if it's going to sell for like all the money in the world, then they're both just going to sell it, and that'll be that. They'll both wash their hands of it. They'll make a big profit.
Yep.
But in this case, the property's going to sell for retail, but Hector would still like to buy it. And so he's looking at trying to figure out a way that he can pull in the money loan.
Yep.
They've kind of pooled their money to this point. They know what the property is worth, and Hector's going to buy them out at basically market value. And I don't know if if he's going to get a better deal than that slightly, but it'll pretty much be, a market value buyout. So if the property's worth $250, Hector's going to buy him out for 125, and they're 50-50 partners, I think, is their deal structure.
Yeah. Let's see. The next comment, Samuel says Ben Mala said he partnered with a wealthy partner who put up all of the money and he did his work in the beginning. Are those partners still around? That's how we started.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How we started. That's how I still do.
Yeah.
So I do it both ways, Samuel. So I'm closing on a deal with Juan Perlam this week, sometime soon. We're the money partner, and I do most of my deals when I find it, and I'm the one who's going to do all the work. I go and I find a money partner, and we do partnerships where the money gets half and the work gets half. And so this is a pretty common way for people to divide things up. Now, I will say that I have 25 years of experience, and when I first started out, I didn't get as good a deal. My partners might have wanted more. They might have wanted to see more skin in the game from me, but we've done everything in between. And absolutely, again, I go back to what I said. What I love about real estate is that it's only kind of kept down by whatever your imagination is. If you can think up a deal structure and present it to somebody and get them to buy into it, they're out there. I mean, and like, can you just Google search someone can give me all the money and fund my deal, and you don't know what you're doing and you've never done it before? That'd be pretty difficult. But if you can go find the deal of a lifetime and present it to someone who's got money in a way that they go, wow, yeah, I'll give you all the money and I'll split profits with you. That happens all the time.
And I would say too, there's always, always going to be an old rich person, someone that's accumulated a wealth over their lifetime, and they are looking for investments.
Yeah.
And there's never not going to be that scenario. There's always going to be new people making money. And if you have a deal and you know these people, they know what a deal looks like. You can bring them the numbers, you can bring them the property, and they will invest with you if it's a good deal.
And I'll add to that I don't think I'm that old, and I'm certainly not that rich, but I want to continue throughout my life to do more real estate. Like, I don't ever see a day where I'm not going to do more real estate. So I've started only in the last couple of years investing in some people that are younger than me, like yourself, like Adon, like TJ, where you guys go out and you find the deals. I'll fund them. And that's what happened with me. When I was young, there was someone in my position who brought the money, and there are still those
happened
people.
To Ben Mala, apparently.
It happened to Ben Mala, apparently. Ben Mala's done pretty damn well for himself. But now I'm investing in some people that are going to take the baton and run with it. And I have 4 guys. I have you, I have Drew, I have TJ, and I have Adon right now. And I'm happy to add to that group. Like, this is something where you 4, I know, like, and trust, and I expect that we'll be doing deals for the rest of my life, right?
Hopefully.
Like, that's what the deal is. So I think that happens all the time.
All right. Angel says, what do you say to those people who say Puerto Rico is dangerous? They need to come to the island, and everyone has their own risk levels, but I don't find it dangerous at all. There's certainly, if you go to La Perla and you're there and 2 a.m, you probably shouldn't be. But
I would say that if you come looking for trouble, you'll find trouble, right? Like, but Puerto Rico for me is not a dangerous place to live. At times, I've been the face of the Gringo Go Home movement. I've had people yell at me, but I've never felt like I was in danger. And I pray that I never will. What I say to people who are thinking of wanting to do business in Puerto Rico is I always invite people to Puerto Rico. So I do that through the YouTube channel. I do that just in my everyday life. I get this a lot, and I say, listen, come to Puerto Rico. Let me show you what we're doing, and you can't unsee it. So no one's ever shown up to the island of Puerto Rico and let us take them around and show them what's going on with the businesses existing and the stuff that's new and the real estate, the stuff that's going on. You take people around and you show them the island. You can't unsee it. And they don't leave the island thinking, oh, I would never invest there. They leave the island with a whole new perspective, and you can't unsee it. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing time to be investing on the island of Puerto Rico.
Andrea Chen is adding, it's all relative. People think NYC is dangerous too. You can let me speak to them. Crypto Pop, are you investing or interested in purchasing in Boca Raton? Is that how you say it?
In Boca Raton?
Boca Raton.
I'm invested. I'm interested in the whole island. So I pretty much have gone from the northeast to the southwest, and then from the west to the south, all over. We've crisscrossed the island. We started out in the metro area, and we've gone all over the island. And I think there are great deals outside of the metro.
Yeah, I think so too. If you're out in the mountains and you're willing to travel, I mean, you'll really get a deal. Real says those people just need to come to PR themselves, and they will understand that it's just another state. There are good and bad places everywhere. It's very true.
Yeah.
Ronald says, how do you determine the true value of a property? How does scenting like Zillow compare to the true value? So are you talking about the Zestimate? The Zestimate is wildly close, but not close at all. It's like it'll give you a range for a neighborhood of, 200,000 to 400,000. So you're not buying $1 million property, but to know what a house is truly worth, you need to go into it. You need to see its current condition. You need to know, has it been updated recently? Because in the same neighborhood, it's very reasonable to have $200,000 or $300,000 price difference depending on renovations, on how updated everything is, on year built. If you're doing new construction, your Zestimate might be totally different than a house built in 1960, or it might be the same. And that's where Zestimate really gets you into trouble, because it's not a true comparable tool. It's just taking all of the data it can and putting it all together. You need to go run your own comparables. You need to find like houses that are going to be similar. I'm worried about. Oh, you have something?
Yeah, I would add to that before we move to the next question. We have that in our course that we just did. So we have a whole section on how to comp houses. I think that the Zestimate doesn't really give you much information at all on the island of Puerto Rico, but it's a really, really effective tool in the 58 states, right? Like, so especially in Florida, I use the Zestimate automatically. That's the first place that I go if I don't know an idea of value. And in fact, even when I want to just check myself. So in Orlando, Florida, I have a pretty good idea of what things are worth. But if someone gives me an address, the very first thing I'm going to do is going to be looking at Zestimate. And I think that it's pretty close. I mean, it's a great jumping off point. But anyways, that's what I wanted to add to that.
Nisha says, I'm worried about making my potential lenders feel secure with buying properties in Puerto Rico. So, Nisha, it's hard to get a bank to loan in Puerto Rico if they're not already. Now, what's going on there is because it's a territory, a lot of banks don't know and aren't really trying to learn how to invest, how to do loans in Puerto Rico, what the process is. If it's a hard money lender, uh, then they are probably willing to go to Puerto Rico if you show them a deal and you can get them uh, a good deal and good numbers.
Did I say 58 states?
I think you might
I
have.
said 50. So, all right. Yeah. So wishful thinking. I'm sure Puerto Rico's a state if we get 58 of them.
Yes, absolutely. So Mark asked how to join the mastermind. We're going to put the link here in the chat. We'd love to see you guys over there to join our paid community. If you join by the end of day tomorrow, the price will be $29 a month for life. It goes up to $50 a month after that. So we're hoping to see you there. How do you guys structure a good seller financing deal? Do you have a go-to contract template? Would it have to be with the potential seller to a lawyer to get a contract made? We don't have a template, do we?
No.
But the big things that you want to think about in a seller financing deal, you're thinking about timeline, interest rate, money down, and monthly payments, and your amortization schedule. Those 5 things are all you're really negotiating, and the rest of the contract's just a normal purchase contract with those 5 additional terms. So if you're a buyer, you're looking to have the least amount of money down for the least amount of interest rate for the longest amount of time with, I mean, depending on your goals, you might want it amortized, you might want interest only, and that's a more personal thing. So that's what you're fighting for.
And then if you're a seller,
you want
the opposite, right? Yep. And then here's how you match that up: is that I'm the seller and I want to get $1 million for my property, and you're a buyer and you think my property's only worth $850,000 if you were going to go borrow the money from the bank. So you might come and offer me my $1 million at a low interest rate with a modest amount of money down, and I would feel good about it because I know that I'm getting a premium for being the lender.
Yeah.
Other reasons as a seller, and I sell a lot of stuff with seller financing, that I like to do that is because I like the cash flow. So we are value add real estate investors who are trying to get to as close to passive income as we can. And really the most passive income that I get is when we sell something with seller financing. And you, the other real estate investor, you come in and you take over the property. A good example of that is Justin, who's in our group here. He just flew to Puerto Rico, and we've got content out there about that. And he's taken over a triplex that I have in Fajardo. It's one of the first properties I ever bought on the island, and we're moving from San Juan out to Rincon. So Fajardo is east of San Juan, and I want to go west. I really don't want to go renovate that triplex again. And so I gave, I would think, a pretty sweetheart deal to Justin. And Justin has jumped in and is fixing the place up and getting it rented out and making monthly payments. And, I make it easy for him. He makes it easy for me. We're going to document the whole damn thing. And we hope to do more of that, right? Like, so that's one of the preferred ways that I look to partner with people too, is to help people to get into their first deal.
Yeah.
But it's going to help me as well, right? Like,
Absolutely.
so there's, I'm getting monthly income from it, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, I want Justin to be successful, and he's got my cell phone, and he's in my mastermind, and he's fast becoming a friend. So I may worry about it more now that he's invested in it than I did before, and
Yeah.
that might get a little mixed up, but that's okay, right? Like, I mean, we really do all of this stuff to bring value to people, and
I will
his
say
success is super important to me, is what I'm saying.
it is always easier to educate people about what we've done in the past than a lot of this stuff. It just takes time. Justin right now is working on getting power and water to the building. And most of that process is very easy. It just takes you 8 hours sitting at the local power office and waiting for your appointment and trying to get it done. And so it is easy for us to mentor people and tell people what we have done, what is successful, and then they can just go and do it. We have another question from Pineapple, which is Frank. For your vacation rentals, how do you manage cleaning services for different locations on the island? That's probably a you question.
What's the question?
How do you manage cleaning services in different locations on the island? So San Juan versus Rincon versus.
Yeah, so we manage, so they're different cleaning services, right? I wouldn't hire the San Juan company to clean in Rincon. It would cost an arm and a leg. And so in Rincon, where we have a guest house hotel, we have a cleaner that is employed to clean that place. In San Juan, we have several different properties that we need cleaning at, and we've got different crews that go to the different places. And so you manage them the same way you manage any service business, right? You try and get the best deal that you can get, and you have to follow up, and you have to check on their work. We've kind of constantly been looking for a stable way to do the cleaning. If we could ever get like critical mass in the San Juan metro area, we'd probably bring someone in-house and then hire a full-time position, or maybe two or three. But until we're big enough for that, we're gonna keep fighting the good fight and hiring these smaller businesses to come in and work for us.
Yeah. Nisha says, I'm packing up and preparing to come with my daughters into the PR market. Very exciting. I have a partner there that has been showing me around vicariously already. Well, that's amazing. We're happy to have you. And, we're looking forward to hopefully showing you deals, and check out his videos. We've got a couple seller financing opportunities. So if you're looking for your start on one of those, check out what's for sale, and join our school community and talk to us about the island. We'd love to have you there.
Yeah, and while we started this YouTube channel to kind of spotlight Puerto Rico, it's evolved into something bigger than that, and
Yep.
and we're much bigger than we ever thought we were. But I still love the idea of people coming to the island of Puerto Rico. I think it's a tremendous place to be in business, and for us, it's the best idea that we ever had in business, right? Like, so, congratulations on making that move. I think you're going to love it, and just be willing to come and work hard, and um, you're gonna do really, really well on the island of Puerto Rico. It's a really good time to be here.
Yeah, it is exciting. I mean, you look in every corner, there's a new deal. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so much opportunity.
Businesses and real estate, everything. Anything that you can bring where you can provide people value, whether that's
Yep.
providing housing that's at a fair price and looks good and is done well, or it doesn't matter. Pick a business, a cleaning business. Come to the island and figure out how to clean Airbnbs for people. Someone can make millions of dollars doing that if you can figure out how to scale that business.
Yes. But is it Papo? Papo, would you recommend refinancing commercial property and PR after the value add, of course?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To the extent that you can, right? Like, so, um, it's still going to be more difficult, but you can get commercial loans on the island of Puerto Rico, especially on properties that are in good condition that have cash flow.
Yeah. If you've got a business in there and you're
Yep.
making money every month, it gets a lot more standardized.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it's getting better and better, right? Like, so it's been very hard after the banking crisis back in the mid 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
The island really never recovered in that sense, but now just recently we're starting to see loan programs pop up, and it's getting easier. So,
Yeah. Hey guys, we're running out of time here, so put your last questions here, and we'd love to get more questions and talk to you more. And we're going to close out here with a couple more questions. Let's see what we got here. Nisha, I'm going to have to import helpers. That's what I've heard. It is tough to find contractors. I actually was just on a call today with Sherman. He runs
Sherman.
Sherman, like the tank, right? Or Sherwin.
Sherwin.
Sorry, Sherwin. So he runs a project management company where he has contractors on staff. He's ready to manage more properties.
And he's part of this community.
And he's part of the school community. So if you make a post in the free one, he'd love to talk to you. He's looking to manage projects. He's looking to do his own deals. He's looking to partner with people. He's all gas, no brakes.
Sheldon, by the way.
It's Sheldon.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sheldon.
I knew you were saying it wrong. I'm like, it's Sherwin? What?
I was thinking, I don't know. Sorry, Sheldon. His name is Sheldon. He's in the community. He's looking to do real estate deals. He's already project managed a few of ours. And, if you're looking for a partner, then let's get going. Nisha says she's a project manager as well. Definitely link up with him, and maybe
Nisha, project managers are needed on the island, right?
Absolutely.
It's a great business. So, yeah.
Real says, do you guys wholesale here in Puerto Rico? Have you wholesaled?
Not in the traditional sense. So, Real, for 25, 26 years, the thing that I've done that's differentiated me from most real estate investors is that when I go to buy something, I close on it. And so I've bought things, closed on them, and then immediately resold them. And so you could call that wholesaling. But I have not done the traditional Jerry Norton type contracted and sell the contract to the next buyer. I did do that way early on when I first started out. That was one of the ways that I was making money. But I've been a value add investor for so long that I just close on things. When I say I'm going to buy something, I'm buying it for myself and my partners to fix it up and then to either sell it retail or to rent it out. So I have bought some things and not fixed them and just sold them to the next guy, and you would call that wholesale, but it's not traditional.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's all of our time for tonight. Is that right?
I mean, is there a question we missed, or do we have a bunch of questions we missed? We had a lot of questions.
You guys.
This was phenomenal. You guys were hitting us. This is how this needs to go every week. I absolutely love it.
Yep.
I didn't realize an hour had passed. Maybe let's answer 2 more questions if they're there, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay. Mark says, thank you for what you're doing here, guys. It's a blessing to have this forum, community, and knowledge exchange. We appreciate it, Mark. We're hoping to add value and connect people, and we want to make the island better, and we also want to make deals easier in the States. So it's good to share knowledge. There's no reason not to.
And hopefully this stuff translates everywhere, right? Like, so this isn't just about Puerto Rico or just about Florida. this real estate investing stuff can be done anywhere in the world.
Yep. Real ask, are you guys in Puerto Rico now, or are you broadcasting from the States? Would love to meet up and chat.
Yeah, we're in Florida today, and I was in Puerto Rico this morning.
Yep. And you're going back tomorrow, right?
I think so. Well, we'll see, because I'm buying that damn truck before I get back. So.
He flew back to Orlando to buy his Cybertruck. My full-time business is here in Orlando, and so I'm not in the day-to-day down in Puerto Rico, but I'm happy to be here on the live. It was good timing that I was able to be here with you guys, and yeah, we're looking forward to doing more. So, hey guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you like and subscribe and join our school community, and we'd love to talk to you more.
Yeah, we got 19 people watching. We only have 15 likes. That probably means a few of you haven't hit the like button for us. Do that. It helps with the algorithm. It helps get the word out.
Absolutely.
Again, we're building the biggest real estate investment platform or investment group on the school platform.
Yep.
So tell everybody about us. I went through my Rolodex and invited a bunch of people that I do business with. And so they're there. A lot of them are there.
Yeah.
And if you guys are doing business with people and you know that they would benefit from the group or that they can add value to the group, please invite them. Let's build this thing together, guys. We can do more together than we can apart. And having a group knowledge is something that I'm really highly interested in.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. And you can ask questions over on the school platform. If there are some that we missed, I'll try to go through and answer some in the text. But they sort of disappear after a little while. So if I don't get to them, I apologize. Awesome, guys. This was great. And I appreciate you so much.
All right.
That's it. God bless everybody.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.